In this video, let's look into AI Toolkit, a Visual Studio Code extension. So basically, this extension streamlines the generative AI application development by integrating different models and tools. AI Toolkit streamlines generative AI app development. It allows you to discover, explore, and evaluate different models, the AI model. You can build and test agents in minutes. You get a seamless model context protocol tool integration within this particular extension. You get hold of Playground for real time model testing. So basically, you can select different models and start testing within the playground itself. You need not compile the project, you need not do any specific setup. You get ready-made playground setup to test different models. So basically it streamline prompt engineering and agent dev workflow. So you get to have you you s- you you get an interface basically to craft your prompt, get guidance instructions around the prompt, and also an ability to build agent workflows for a specific model. When you build, you have an option to bulk run the prompts. So if you are building an application, say take for example weather development agent. Now here, if you want to test how the agent will behave if you type in different cities or some different parameters, then you can specify those particular prompts in a specific area, which I'm going to show you in the demonstration, and you can bulk run that test without even manually typing and executing and waiting for the results. Fine tuning, you can customize and adapt the models for a specific domain. And also, there is an option for model conversion as well. Now, AI Toolkit features. So basically, it brings the AI development models from Microsoft Foundry catalog and Hugging Face. AI Toolkit features, as I mentioned to you, you can fine tune your AI model. However, you can download and run the AI models locally as well, especially the small language model. You have an option to bring your own model. So you can bring your own model, connect it with the system, and then you will be able to perform all the operations, all the feature set provided by the AI toolkit. You can test the models in the playground, and you can also build an agents in the agent builder. So it provides you an interface. So remember that if you want to build an agent, you would go to Microsoft 365 Copilot or use Microsoft Copilot Studio, or there is an option to build using Azure AI Foundry as well. Now here in AI Toolkit, you can also build an agents in the agent builder. You can deploy the AI feature in the cloud or app that runs on device. You can run the prompts in batch, as I mentioned to you previously, for selecting the AI after selecting the AI models in the playground. And from a observability perspective, you can perform a tracing. You can monitor and analyze your AI app. AI Toolkit is not only for developers, but then it is for the researchers, it is for the AI engineers, it is for the educators, it is for the data scientists as well. So this kit is a kind of a universal toolkit for building AI solutions, AI apps. Now let me show you that extension. So I'm in Visual Studio Code over here. So in Visual Studio Code, as you see, I'm in the version 1.106.2. So this is what the latest which I got till date. So that's on November 2025. Now here, if you want to install the extension, you navigate to the extension and type in AI Toolkit. I've already installed the extension, but if you haven't, you can navigate to AI Toolkit for Visual Studio Code, and then from here you will get an install button. Click on it, and then the AI Toolkit will be installed within your machine. You can have a read into it, what kind of feature set it provides. Like as I mentioned to you, it will give you a model catalog, give you playground, agent builder to build agents, bulk run to execute the batched prompt testing, model evaluation. You can evaluate different models by using the data set and the standard metrics. Once installed, you will find the AI toolkit on the left hand menu, and here you will be seeing various options on the left menu. So let me do a zoom. Yeah, okay. Now here, let me close this. My resources. So this will contain all the resources which you have currently. Like it is classified into models, GitHub, and Microsoft Foundry. Then under my agents here, any agent which you built will be shown, and any MCP servers which you have either created or referenced will be shown over here. Then we have model tools. So we get model catalog, model playground, conversion, fine tuning. Then we have agent and workflow tools, which comprises of agent builder, bulk run, evaluation, tracing, build agent with GitHub Copilot, MCP workflow, and help and feedback. So if I go into my resources, here I have an option to add model for remote inference. So if I click on add model, I have an option to add multiple models which have been configured within this application. So OLAMA model, Foundry local model, custom model. I'm not going to create any of this, but I'm going to show you all the options that are available. Then if I just X out of it, I have an option to create an agent. So I click on create new agent and the agent builder spins up. In agent builder, there are some information which you need to fill in. So there's a basic information, variable, tools, and the connected agent. Basic information is like the name of the agent. So I'll call it as a weather agent. Then there is an option to select the model. So I have OpenAI GPT-4.1, GPT-5, DeepSeek R1 at the moment. Click on settings, and here you can specify whether you want the output as a text or a JSON. What is the max response token you need to set, temperature, and the top P. Then you specify the instruction, either you write it on your own or you generate based on the support of AI. You can open this in an editor, a separate editor as well, which will refer to the system.md file. Variables, if there are any variables which you want to use, double curly braces, and you add a dynamic value in the instruction. If you want to use some tool, you can use tools within the agent. So if I click on tool, I get to add an MCP server, or I can create a single custom tool powered by your code or an API. So add custom function tool. So I can either provide an example. So here there's an example of getting the weather or getting the stock price. So they have just given you one example, get weather. And this is the name of the tool, and description is determined whether in my location, or get stock price, get the current stock price. Or you can upload an existing schema, and then that particular tool will get injected within the system. You have an option to perform settings, so you can just say stop on tool use. The agent stops after each tool response. To continue, add the tool's response and provide additional user prompt. So this is how you can configure. Then we have connected agents. So imagine if you have multiple agent, if one agent wants to talk to another agent, you can use connected agents, and then you specify the agent which you have created. Now, remember, these are the three agents which I've already created, and that's why this list is filled with three items. Now, if you want to see from where this is coming, these are the three agents which I've already added. You save the version, you can even view the code as well. So if I click on view code, then I need to select which client SDK for the GitHub post, like either OpenAI SDK, Azure AI Inference, or the Microsoft Agent Framework, and then I'll be able to view the code. On the right hand side, you will see playground. So get started with examples. So there is a web scraper, MCP server, second grade simplifier, dream interpreter, and then there is an evaluation. Now, as I mentioned to you previously, that uh, if you if you build an agent, and if you want to test that agent, what you can do, you can add an evaluation. So I go ahead and add an empty row. Now, as you see over here, I already added the city, Seattle, Mumbai, London, and maybe Melbourne. Now, if I'm writing a weather application, and if I want to test whether the AI behaves correctly when the user types in prompt of various cities for asking for weather, I can write the query, I can select, and then I can run the response. So there are various options. I can add further evaluation, I can import, I can compare with other versions of agent, I can export. So this is how I can basically run the multiple evaluation. Now these are the different agents which I have already created. Now apart from that, there is an MCP server. Now if you see over here, MCP servers, if I click on plus, I can add an MCP server. Now these are the different options which I get currently depending on whatever MCP servers I have utilized within the VS Code. Now, I have an option to include Microsoft Docs, Markdown, Wiki, Hugging Face, Sentry, and these are like some of the popular MCP servers. Now, if I click on popular MCP servers, I'll be able to add those MCP servers. Now, as you see over here, it is a huge list. So I'm just scrolling down. So you get various MCP servers which has been currently present. And I have an option to manually install the MCP server as well. Now, going over here in model tools, I've got model catalog. So in model catalog, all the different language models are being shown, like the Claude Sonnet 4.5, OpenAI GPT-5, Phi 4. And I have an option to search for different models. So like if you see OpenAI GPT, DeepSeek, DeepSeek R1, I can go ahead and deploy this. So these are the Microsoft Foundry hosted models. These are the GitHub models, and you get to see the local models as well. So you can go ahead and add those local model. If you just want to test what that model does, you have an option to try in playground. So if you see DeepSeek R1 distilled, try in playground. So if I click on it, it will download that model. So I'll just cancel this off. It will download the model, and then you can try this in the playground. If you want to check OpenAI GPT-5, which is a GitHub model, trying playground, again, it will start loading the screen. This is the model it will load. And as you see over here, it is loading the model. So OpenAI GPT-5. Once this model loads, I will get an option to compare the model. So I can type in a prompt. I can specify what I want. Do I need to enable the web search? Do I need to attach a file? Do I need to attach an image? Or use all the AI feature or GPT-5 native supported AI feature. So as you see, OpenAI GPT-5 model is present. If I want to compare GPT-5 with GPT 4.1 or DeepSeek R1, I have an option to compare. So I can compare with maybe GPT 4.1. And then side by side, you'll be able to see the interface, and then you type in a prompt and try to see what response does it provide. So this is how you can compare different model. And in the model catalog, like which we just saw, so we have a segregation between olama, windows AI API. You can discover more models, or you can bring your own model as well. So add your own model, and then you specify the URL for OpenAI compatible chat completion endpoint URL, and then it will allow you to bring your own model. Then we have conversion, we have fine tuning. So you need to build a project. You can build customized workflows to create your own models from famous Hugging Face models. So you need to first click on new model project, build a project, and then perform various operations. Fine tuning, you can go ahead and fine tune the project. Again, this also work from a project perspective. So you can actually select a model, and then you fine tune the model based on your requirement. Then we have agent and workflow. So agent builder we have seen. In agent builder, you have an ability to create an agent. So there are multiple interfaces through which you can create an agent. Bulk run is all about bulk running the prompt, which comes as a part of the evaluation. Evaluation has its own space, so you can evaluate different prompts. Then you can create your evaluation. So as you see over here, I've already created Girish evaluation. So you can create your own evaluation, and then once you execute that evaluation, you can actually see evaluators basically check for relevance, coherence, fluency, task adherence, tool call accuracy. So these are like predefined evaluators present. Tracing, so you can basically trace for observability purposes. Tracing helps you view the complete path of what happens when the Gen AI app handles a request. So you click on start collector, and then it will start collecting the logs. Build agent with GitHub. So this is another interface to build your agent with GitHub. Create agent, enable tracing, adding evaluation, so specific to GitHub. MCP workflow, again, add MCP server. It will take you to the same screen, and then it will allow you to add that MCP server. So if I go ahead and create, say, take for example, PayPal. So I'll click on PayPal, press enter. What technically it will do, it basically it will say, do you want to the code to open external website? I'll say open, and then configure the trusted domains, and then it will add that JSON file. Now let me X out of here, click on add MCP server, and let me add maybe mark it down. Okay, so I added mark it down. Let me close this, and I'll click on add MCP server. I'll add, say, playwright, press enter. I'll go click on add MCP server, and I'll add Microsoft Docs. Now, multiple MCP servers which you add within your system, what it will do, it will add an entry within that JSON file. And just by looking into the JSON file, you will come to know which all MCP servers you have. So MCP list servers, MCP browse resources, MCP add server. So if you know how to use the MCP servers within VS Code, this will basically show you which server is running. So as you see over here, Azure MCP server is running, Microsoft Docs is running, and then I created some Docker Wiki based server. So I have an option to add a new server configuration, and there are multiple ways through which you can configure this. So you have a command based, HTTP based, npm based, pip, docker image based, and that's how it starts creating those MCP servers. Basically it is adding a reference. All right, so that's it, folks. This is all about the AI toolkit within Visual Studio Code. It will basically allow you to build an application in artificial intelligence. It allows you to select multiple models so that you get that jump start to build the solution for your organization. Thanks for watching.